Hey everybody, happy Thursday, happy Friday Eve. It's Thursday. It's about 11:45. I haven't been to work today yet because my son and I both had eye doctor appointments. But how's everybody doing? I just want to come on and say hi. Welcome all my new subscribers. Hey, I don't get very many votes, but this is not a career for me. It's more or less a ministry. I want to be, and I'm going to say this, a beacon of light in a sometimes dark world. But I just want to stop on and say hi. Like part of my big head is cut off. Yeah, that's better. Just want to come on and say hi, though. And just talk about some things. Y'all, in life, I realize that I've done things that have been unfavorable to my own success. Because I have really been watching, and I have literally, been watching paternity court. And I talked about this one day. I was sitting outside of Sam's and I was waiting to pick up my order, and I was talking about a situation I have witnessed and how it affected me, and how the situation of premarital sex, consensual sex outside of relationships, outside of marriage, fornication, what the Bible says about it, how society has made it the norm, how it's acceptable, and not a lot of discussion about it. How do I begin? I'm talking about something that has affected my life as part of my testimony, and that is the fact that sex outside of marriage is a sin of it. But why am I talking about this, y'all? And I've gotten an email where a guy asked me to be on a panel discussing child support, and I hadn't responded back to him yet. I am not. It may have already occurred. I'm not even sure. I have been a recipient of child support because I was the custodial parent, and the non-custodial parent lived outside of the household. But I am not privy to all of the laws and everything. I have heard conversation regarding it because there were some people in my office who was discussing it. And so I want to come back and talk about this, and I said I would in that previous the video I mentioned. I'm going to actually link that video so y'all can see it. See, I come on here and I talk about cooking because that's something I enjoy. But my ministry is assisting single mothers, single parents, because there are a lot of single fathers. They don't get the respect they deserve, but my heart goes out, especially for a single father, a young girl, you trying to learn, because my oldest daughter had a classmate, he's raising his 3 daughters, and my daughter used to go over and do the girls' hair, but he makes it his business to make sure that their hair is up to par, and I like that, and I encourage him, and I'm one of those type. I'm going to always give flowers to people who are doing things that I see. And look, it doesn't have to be my child for me to be proud of somebody. I'm just, as an older woman, I'm 55 years old. I am proud to see these young kids getting out and doing the things that they're doing. Being productive members of society. Beating the odds, coming from a very, very dark place and persevering. Man, that's, let me tell you something. Everybody don't have the same story. Everybody don't have the same opportunity. But you have to take the hand you dealt. And just like you playing cards, man, some things you have to the cards you have ain't going to help you to win, baby. Just like in life, you got to throw that thing out. If it ain't doing you no good, let me tell you something. A lot of problems, and I realized this in my own life, not to get too personal because it ain't y'all business. It's your business if I want to tell it, but I don't want to tell all my personal business. Some things in life, you love it, but you still got to walk away from it. You know what I'm saying? And it could be relationships, it could be food, and that's and let me tell you something. Why it's so hard about the food situation for me? I'm just gonna keep it real, y'all, because you have to eat to live. You don't have to eat some of the things I like to eat, though. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm a foodie at heart. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't gamble. My vice is food. I told my my sister the other day, I told my son the day we was coming back from the doctor, I have a grocery shopping addiction. I don't know where that stems from, and I am going to seek me some therapy because y'all, okay, you know how I go to the store all the time. My freezer, I have one of those upright stainless steel freezers. It is full. The shelves are full. Each level of the racks are full. The bottom rack, the tray that pulls out, is full. The tray in the middle where I put like bacon and sausages and stuff is full. I don't have place to put any more frozen food. I even have some stuff over at my brother's house. I don't know what that is. Am I afraid of being without? I don't know. I remember one time, though, I was with one of my co-workers, and it was lunch break, and she invited me to come over to her home. I can't remember if she had just purchased the house or whatever. But I went to the house. It was clean and everything. But I was so sad because I had never seen a refrigerator so empty in my life. I don't even know what we had for lunch that day when I went to her house. I don't even know. I don't know. God has blessed me, and I just want to be a blessing. I just want people to understand that, hey, just because you had that baby in high school, or just because you had that baby and the dad decided he didn't want to stay with you, that don't define your purpose in life. It doesn't define your future. You know, you still can get up. And the thing about it, you got to have, it's got to be innate in you and wanting to do better, or not necessarily, well, have better things, but I'm not saying that we're going to worship those things. You understand what I'm saying? But having those things accessible to you, I guess. I don't know, y'all. I don't have all the answers. Sometimes I be rambling, but my intentions and my heart is pure. But back on what I was talking about, I'm all over the place, but back to the child support and the single parents. Reason why that stayed on my mind and stayed on my heart, and I just think that somewhere in the midst of me living in my purpose, some part of what I do and who I am is going to involve me helping raise single women out of poverty and the kids into a positive direction, because there are so many children who are living with single parents, mostly mothers. And they're you know, they have the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? And I just want everybody to know that there's a best I can. But what I'm saying about the child support thing, I know I'm all over the place, but what I'm saying is, if we could reduce the number of teenage pregnancies outside of marriage, there's a possibility that we could also reduce the number of recipients of child support. Because look, it's better for a child to have the two incomes in the house than one, because so many things, I'm not saying stay in a relationship that's abusive, stay in a relationship that's, you know, because let me tell you something. Anything that doesn't grow or anything that is dead needs to be thrown out. I mean, you know, if you're in a situation where you're not growing, it's okay to say, hey, we need to regroup. Or, hey, this is not working in our favor. Or, hey, I feel like, you know, if, you know, you have to set some goals for yourself. Just like you do in your personal life and your career, you have to do it in your personal life as well. You know, I'm going to give this situation so many years to see some progress. And if not, guess what? I'm moving on. And there's nothing wrong with that. People got to understand that. You say, oh yeah, we've been together 50 years, but 49 of those years it's been disharmony, no peace, no direction, no growth. You know, no, come on now. We got to want better. We have got to want better. That's what I'm saying. All this to say, the guy was saying when I was talking about the child support, I'm going to link the video. If you read in the comments, he say, well, they shouldn't have the kids. You know, and if I could go back and talk to my younger self, I would tell myself, look, you don't want to lay down with anybody you're not married to. Because when you do that, you're taking a chance of having kids that you're going to end up having to raise by yourself. Or, you know, even if you're co-parenting, it's much better for the non-custodial parent. What I'm trying to say is, it's better for both parents to be there to know what's going on with the kids. It's better for the children. It's better for them. And I was watching Paternity Court. And I love that judge. What her name? I'm gonna link her name. Lake. She sugarcoats nothing. And that's how I am. Too many people, y'all gotta quit telling people. I ain't saying y'all, because it's like I'm talking to somebody. I'm not. I'm saying in general, if you love somebody, tell them the truth, even if it may hurt them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's too many people tiptoeing around situations that's destroying these children's lives. There has been a city in Louisiana, there has been, I think they said 17 murders in the first quarter, March. Yeah, the first quarter of this year. That is way too many. And I am willing to bet you that I don't have the numbers, but I'm willing to bet about 20%, no, more than half of the kids that were either killed or did the killing lived in single parent households. I don't know what that is, y'all. I don't know where the breakdown is. I interviewed for a job. Well, no, I didn't interview, but I applied for a position working with child support, but it was as a director. And they had some questions about some of the things that I thought needed to be addressed. And it's good and it's entertainment, but I want to get down. I want to talk about things that make people think and make people want to change their livelihood, make them want to change their life, their directions, their purpose. I want to talk about how can we, so this is what they asked. I'm sorry. They were asking about what do we think about what 5 things that we think are problems or could change child support. So I can't remember, poverty, something like that. But my thing was education. Making sure that if you got a person that's a recipient of child support, make sure that every child in their home 3 and above is in school. 3 and above is in school. That gives that parent, let me tell you something. If you're a mother or you're a father, you stay at home, I think your kids still should go get social skills outside of the home. They need to know that in this world that they can live outside of the home, or you need to know that they can live outside of the home and still flourish. And I think about this a lot of times, like with my son, because I'm going to have to make this a 2-part thing because it's going to be too long. But my son, he has been on this subject a lot lately, and it's caused me to think too. He says, well, what happens to an adult who loses their parent, but they've never lived on their own? So basically, he's been worrying about himself and what happens to him if something would happen to me. Well, his dad isn't retired, but he works out of town and he works nights. My oldest daughter is in Houston. My other daughter is here. So he would probably most likely go live with one of his siblings. So I don't know, but and that's another thing you have to think about when you have a house full of children. What happens to all those kids if something happens to you? What's the probability of 6 or 7 children going to one household that is not headed by one or either of the parents? All that kind of stuff. It takes a toll on me sometimes, and I just have to learn how to, and I'm learning more to lean on God for direction and stuff, because if you really think about the logistics of your life for your kids after you leave and what that looks like, because I can tell you as an adult, when my mom died, I was devastated, and I'm better now. But y'all, at first I was like, I was living, but I was just here, if that makes sense. It was really, really, it's still hard at times, but I've learned to cope with God's help. And so that's why, and another thing I'm all over the place. I'm going to probably have to chop this up. But anyway, when they were talking about the child support and they were asking about things, you know what else I said? I said, people need to give their children a spiritual foundation. Your little sons need to know that it is not okay to lay down with a young lady, protected or not, that you're not married to. And then there is a probability that you could end up with a child that you're not ready to take care of. Life is complicated. And then as a child, your mind has matured, and then you're taking on mature things.